Many really sim at home with some very high.
So Aleix Espargaro then, just as Lewis Simon Crayford. As we just look at this breaking news, Taka Nakagami from Morbidelli, he's on his way to Pramac Ducati, which saw blind entries, the fast S's, social circuit.
They don't get used much, and all of that. And yeah, the exiting that corner, yeah, you'd swear you were in Sepang, you know, with the building.
Or with Fabio Quartararo there, giving you some insights of the conditions and a hot lap in terms of his speed as well. So for this afternoon's extended 70-minute tight first corner, then we're on board then with Martin Brad Binder then
there, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to run on and just find.
And you do feel that kind of Delta terminal blow need to happen for him to bring Binder back into racing lines. And it's worth noting as well, Johan's, he's the first man into the 147. The 147.
Some quiet now here as he looks to try and turn around. Miller was another. Fabio Quartararo has also had a
down to his left boot then. Clearly there's no work takes to a bit of grass tracking as well. Sporting a Butte just missing their braking markers into that very tricky
a variety of lines that he can take through that bank
to see that he potentially was going to disturb Marco Bezzecchi. There's certainly multiple bangs and bashes in that 5 right. The Mazzano test, as Bagnaia did as well, to give us
start of the sprint's going to be interesting tomorrow, isn't it? Based on what we find yourself as one of the particularly troublesome spots for
side the curve there, but he had that KTM snake in left and right. Mazzano weekend for him, particularly after there was Miller's mistake. There's Bezzecchi running off in the first corner. System already. They'll be working on that, won't they, in the garages now? Sort of
heard from what it doesn't matter what gear he's selected. So that
on the factory Yamaha, he's moving into one of the most coveted. Sea lucky to have got a plum ride like that. Given
closer to Fabio Quartararo this year than he has been.
The likes of Bezzecchi and Marini, they are going to be
so many competitive riders on Ducatis going to complete that fleet of 8 Ducatis next season, or whether he's going to
feeling a little bit underwhelmed. He was not convinced at all. Oversee Marquez's tests. Has that been enough to convince him? 6 points behind Pecco Bagnaia in the World Championship. Let's get some early
go. Morbidelli, can you give us your thoughts on that?
It's yet, but I think his style of riding,
the performance of Jorge
Sunday, he was in front all the time. What I say to my guys, that is
awesome. I have something to ask, but it seemed to come recently. Do you
something related to the connection between the weekends to becomes better and better?
Okay, one.
But I think for us, for Ducati,
now is the victims really of the sort of Milan Riccardo Thomas circuit immediately after the final Grand Prix 11. And you'll gain uphill braking. I think Jack Appiah was talking to a couple of Moto3 rides this morning, and they're all
somewhere around the 100-second mark, weren't they? Around the one.
There he goes then. Oh, as soon as he hit the lip where they went in there, that just looked like the front locked on him, didn't it? As soon as a hand injury, which left him right in the back of the field.
It feels like Ayagura's in consecutive years has stepped out. Former world champions have been up to into turn 12.
Fans, there's Pedrosa fans on the scene trying to give Fabio Quartararo his session. We're just halfway through it. 35 minutes still remaining. Absolutely baking hot conditions here at the Budhh International Circuit
zone as they are trying to get it stopped. You can see the rear wheel.
Sorry, but I was just going to run through again what I think it is in T1.
So he's going to be furious, isn't he, at the moment?
New circuit, and it's clearly a very technical lane.
The way that he wanted to get this Indian Grand Prix weekend, either the sort of spoon under the swing arm in that straight. What's happened to Bagnaia? He's gone wide into the first corner. Dramas very early on, wasn't it, for Michele?
Shot to head down towards turn 10. So it is an easy mistake to make through there. Bagnaia then comes across.
Count maybe more what's going on down there.
Yeah, I'll get it confirmed as clutch. And the clutches in these things, a clutch cover to try to keep the most likely thing to break. Then you're talking a bit to come to a circuit.
We know the speed, and we
have a dyno to simulate this.
That's why we choose the allocation. We go very, very high.
Long straight.
Yes, because of that one. So the teams, they know quite well. More timing to spend on the track. Grip level from the track is very, very low. But the good working to limit the spinning. So they have a lot of spinning.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks to Piero Tommaso covering all elite athletes. They are then double the distance on Sunday. 24
in India on Sunday afternoon. So it's not exactly going to be quite the challenge for the riders from both the physical and
side. Last year's by he was riding, of course, for the fast track wall, looking like he just got out of a swimming pool. He was in 9. Screens still up then. Mass extended 70-minute practice one session.
Maverick Vinales was one of the disappointments. He just didn't quite have the stopping capability.
Front for the 28-year-old Spain. We're right on board the team. He's sort of saying, well, it's not more in this year's World Championship. And it was interesting as well, Lewis. I thought it could get quite spicy in the latter part of the...
If I was being very flippant and very grand scheme of things, that is Jorge Martin trying and relieve
4 riders in the MotoGP World Championship, right? Such a key influence behind the Indian Mahindra project remaining. Let's just stay silent for a little bit, Simon Crayford, because I believe he's been investigative as always.
Next, I haven't seen for a long time, all 4 of the big Japanese manufacturers and their riders are missing track time.
He's not returned to the circuit, having done 10 laps, just around 200 kilometres an hour. Got a big head shake trip to the gravel track.
You do wonder with all those crashes that possibly up to MotoGP, but of course the makeup of the heat, and I don't mean the intense heat here.
It is an unwanted distraction, you know. Of course, at this stage, how on earth have KTM got themselves into this position where they've got him and KTM, where they said, Pedro, you know, would you error?
It's clear how difficult the decision is proving because
we're reliably informed that Fernandez's option for 2020, like Pedro Acosta's got a seat. It does look tough decision. Simon, back to you. I think you've got a couple of tech.
It's been the slang would be cut and that was at Misano, you know, the whatever you want to call it, the style swing arm mounted hole. I managed to get down low enough to see the hole. Stop that damage, but for it to try and cope with that heat off the clutch onto
race in the sprint tomorrow, the 2012 lap sprint and the 24 lap race on Brad Binder. These 2 3rd and 4th in this really tight, tricky downhill braking zone.
Got absolutely covered in dust there as he went out onto the runoff Grand Prix on Sunday afternoon, and this is the 20th lap that
in soft rear tyre. You can see him on the graphic there. Advomia tyre. He finds a 146.73. Automatic penalty, isn't it, on the last time we exceed track limits.
Painted curve is the curve that they would normally use if Maverick Vinales, only though by 300th of a second. So Vinales
in his home Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago, and it's certainly simple.
Benteke suddenly getting the bragging rights in Misano in terms of
said it was going to be a 139.9. Engineers erring on the side of caution, it seems. Trying laps he's done. Espargaro's gone down again. Goes, mid-corner, trail break.
Now this is the first of 8 Grand Prix in the last 10 weeks.
Just frozen as the marshals get Paul Espargaro back with Marini. He was leading the early part. Hero looks under threat.
Certainly does. He was particularly he's very good at brand new venues, and as he comes out of the final corner,
There's having a look late on fresh rubber, new medium. He stands right now 4th place, him ahead of Martin. Vinales runs out last time out in Misano.
If anyone needed a comp to be suffering from a little bit of discomfort, and Stefan Bradl.
Extra start for the Iwata factory.